What's up guys, welcome back on my YouTube channel. If you don't know me, my name is Francesco and I've been traveling around the world for the last 6 years, I think. Right now I am in Bali and I guess the reason why you're here is to discover the big news. I mean, it's already out there from many weeks, but Bali is officially reopened or open for international tourists. Therefore, what does it mean? That you actually can travel to Bali without stopping in Jakarta as it was before. And this is such a great news for everyone that wish to travel to Bali in 2022. So the big news arrived here in Bali a few weeks ago. Finally, the government decided to open Bali as a point of entry for Indonesia, and therefore international travelers could actually travel directly to Bali without stopping to Jakarta. The first flight landed here in Bali internationally from Singapore on the 3rd of February, and at the moment there is only flights going through Singapore landing to Bali. So therefore, if you want to actually reach Bali without stopping to Jakarta, you will have to consider to do a layover stop in Singapore before to approach Bali. This may be changing in the next few weeks, as the government already announced that they are actually working to open officially Bali in April 2022, and therefore all the airlines companies should be able to travel directly to Bali. But right now let's talk about what do you actually need in order to travel to Indonesia and therefore to visit Bali in 2022. So the first thing that you definitely need if you decide to travel to Indonesia in 2022, it's a visa. If you are holding a kitas or a kitap, then you're fine, you can enter Indonesia as usual. You still need to follow all the requirements in order to enter Indonesia in 2022. And if instead you are a visitor and a tourist, then you will need a special visa which is called B211A, or most commonly called business visa. It's not actually a business visa which allow you to work in Indonesia, but it is for a business visit initially intent, but also right now they just announced that it can be used for the purpose of tourism. So therefore you will need to apply for this visa at least 2 weeks ahead prior your departure, and you will need to have flight tickets with return, and then you will need to have an health insurance cover COVID-19. You will need to sign up a few documents like health protocols and all these things in order for you to get the visa. And the most important thing, you need to have an agent. So therefore I'm going to actually leave a link below for you to check it out. If you're actually looking for an agent here in Bali, this is a very good one. I've been actually referring a lot of clients, a lot of my clients to them, and it's been always good. So if you want to apply for a visa, check it out, the link in the description below. And then what else do you need? Well, actually you don't need that much, because the next thing that you will need is to actually get a PCR test before departure, okay, which of course needs to be negative. And the most important thing, you need to have a vaccine. And this is the tricky thing, because there is two different of fully vaccinated people. There are people that got just 2 doses and people that got 3 doses or better. They got 2 doses plus a booster. So we got our coconut, but now let's jump back on the topic. Depending on if you have 2 doses of vaccine or 2 doses plus a booster, your quarantine period here in Indonesia will be different. So let's say you are fully vaccinated with just 2 doses. That means that you will have to stay in quarantine in one of the hotel which is established by the government of Indonesia for at least 4 nights and 5 days. Instead, if you are double vaccinated with 2 doses and a booster, so that means 3 shots, you will need to stay in quarantine for just 2 nights and 3 days, which is, let's say, it's not that bad, because initially, imagine it was like 2 weeks, then 10 days, then 7 days, then it went to 5, then back to 10. So I'd say that there is an improvement in terms of quarantine, but the good news is that they're actually thinking to take it off for international travelers from April 2022. It's still not official, but we hope that it's gonna change pretty much soon. So in terms of what hotel you can actually choose to spend your quarantine, there is actually a list which has been established by the government of Indonesia, so you can check them out, and I'm gonna leave the link below in the description so you can have it handy. But also I have to admit that it will be a little bit pricey because those hotels are not actually a 2-star hotel or like, I don't know, a guest house or something like that. They are actually very good resorts, so you kind of have like a warm-up vacation, let's say like that, before to be free, and you can finally then go around the whole islands and visit also the whole rest of Indonesia, because Bali it's definitely one of the most beautiful islands in the world and in Indonesia, but there's so many other to visit like Nusa Penida, Nusa Lembongan, Lombok, Gili Islands and so on. But I'd say that actually the biggest news is that they let you go out from the room. So even though you are actually in quarantine in a beautiful resort, you don't need to stay in the room locked up, as it happened to us when we actually arrived in Indonesia. It was October, I think, October 2021. We actually had to stay for 5 days locked in the room, no air, no fresh air, because there was no window, so we had only like a big huge window which we could not open with the view in Jakarta. But again, it was like, I think it was like very weird that they didn't let us at least go to, I don't know, to the restaurant or allocate a space where only people that were traveling internationally could actually go. We felt pretty bored, I'd say, and also like pretty unhealthy because we were not doing any steps. We were just walking around the room. Right now instead it's officially like a vacation because you can still go to the beach, of course within the hotel permanency, have restaurants there, plenty of restaurants because some of them they have a couple, and you know, you can go to the pool, you can go to the gym, you can basically just, you know, have a vacation there, which is very good, you know, compared to being locked up for like 5 days in a room. If you are considering to travel to Indonesia and to Bali in this case, I hope you take that opportunity to travel right now because it's pretty easy. Or if you feel like confident that things are gonna change in a positive way in April, then just wait April and see if the borders are officially open. And another last thing that I wanted to assure you guys that there is right now the opportunity to travel for tourists, so you can actually apply for this visa even though you want to stay here just for a couple of weeks or so, but there is not visa free on arrival, so make sure you actually get the visa before you actually book your plane and you go to the airport, because you still need a visa. You cannot travel to Indonesia in 2022 without a visa at the moment, so no visa free on arrival, no visa run things to stay in Bali doesn't exist anymore unless you have a kitas. So kitas, that means a working visa or permanent visa, so therefore you can actually enter Indonesia as much time as you want, but still you will need to do the quarantine. Okay, so I hope you guys found this vlog very good and informative, and I'll see you at the next vlog, which I don't know what I'm going to share with you guys, but definitely it's gonna be